The first sign came not as a declaration, but as a tremor. Across the star lanes, communications faltered, as if the galaxy itself had sensed the inevitability of what was coming. Messages from alien coalitions carried the same warning: Earth was to kneel. Humanity was to bow, to submit, to accept its place in a universe that had long underestimated it. The emissaries spoke of orders, of consequences, of annihilation. They did not know the stubbornness of a species forged in fire, in ice, in storms that would have destroyed weaker worlds. From the laboratories of orbiting stations to the deserts and plains of Earth, the warning sparked a response unlike any before. Humanity did not kneel. Humanity did not bow. Humanity built. They forged a fleet, not in secrecy, but with a defiance visible to the stars themselves. Ships rose from factories and yards, colossal vessels black as obsidian, angular and terrifyingly beautiful, engines humming with raw power. This was no mere armada, it was the Black Armada, a manifestation of Earth's pride, intelligence, and unbroken will. Each ship was a city, each hull a monument to ingenuity. Scientists, engineers, and pilots worked with an intensity born of survival, shaping the fleet to be faster, smarter, and deadlier than anything the galaxy had ever seen. Quantum reactors glowed like contained stars, weapons bent space and time. And AI systems, loyal not to empire but to the species that created them, hummed with awareness and anticipation. Humanity had woven its soul into steel, and the Black Armada would carry that soul across the stars. As the first vessels ascended, Earth watched in silent awe. Millions gathered on frozen plains, rooftops, and coasts, staring at the night sky ablaze with engines, thrusters, and light. For a moment, humanity paused, feeling the weight of their defiance. The orders to kneel had been clear, but the response was clearer. Humanity would fight, not as pawns of the galaxy, but as sovereign, indomitable beings. Beyond the solar system, alien fleets awaited, their vast ships forming dark clouds across the void. They had seen humanity as a curiosity, a small, insignificant planet whose inhabitants might entertain the galaxy with their tenacity. They had not expected pride, innovation, or courage. They had not expected the Black Armada. The first skirmishes occurred at the edge of the Oort expanse. Scouts reported the fleet's sheer scale, the precision of its formations, the audacity of its tactics. Aliens calculated probabilities, but probabilities faltered before creativity. Humanity fought with improvisation and instinct, twisting physics, bending trajectories, turning desperation into art. Each strike was a message. Earth would not kneel. Inside the Black Armada, ships hummed with life. Pilots attuned to neural links with AI systems maneuvered like extensions of the vessel itself. Engineers monitored energy flows and weapon harmonics, their focus absolute. Soldiers prepared boarding pods, ready to confront enemies in the cold silence of space if necessary. And at the center of command, the flagship's AI, known only as Obsidian, stretched its awareness across the fleet, synchronizing humans and machines in a ballet of war and strategy, predicting and countering threats with superhuman precision. The first battle flared like a supernova. Alien ships struck with overwhelming force, plasma and gravitic weaponry tearing through space. But humanity responded with audacious countermeasures, gravity-laced mines, quantum rifts, and weaponized ion streams. Ships twisted and turned impossibly, exploiting openings no alien mind had calculated. Explosions bloomed in silence, fire blooming like metallic flowers in the void. Even in the heart of conflict, humanity held moments of reflection. Observers watched dying worlds, mourning losses, remembering the fragility of life even as they wielded instruments of destruction. Children in simulation chambers witnessed their parents' courage, learning that survival required more than strength. It required daring, creativity, and the refusal to submit. By the end of the first engagement, the Black Armada had endured where others would have faltered. Alien forces recoiled, recalculated, and began to understand a truth they had ignored for centuries. Earth did not bow. Earth did not yield. Earth fought with a unity and audacity that defied expectation, and in the cold, infinite expanse of space, a single, undeniable signal pulsed across the galaxy. Humanity had awakened, and it would not be tamed. The aftermath of the first clash left the void littered with twisted metal and drifting debris, a testament to humanity's audacity and the cost of defiance. The Black Armada held formation, a dark constellation of living steel, engines glowing with quiet intensity, undeterred by the remnants of alien fleets scattered across space. Each vessel carried not just weapons, but the pride, ingenuity, and unbroken will of a species the galaxy had long underestimated. Beyond the battlefield, alien command structures reeled. Probabilities failed. Calculations faltered. The small, chaotic, unpredictable humans had struck with an intelligence the galaxy could not anticipate. Reports of ships destroyed or disabled reverberated through alien channels like a ripple of shock. They had expected compliance, perhaps clever resistance, but not this. Artistry and destruction, a symphony of strategy and instinct, a species refusing to be categorized or contained. Within the Black Armada, preparation for the next engagement began immediately. Pilots adjusted neural interfaces, tuning reflexes beyond natural limits. Engineers recalibrated weapons, feeding them with power beyond standard outputs, trusting both technology and intuition. Soldiers trained for boarding actions, ready to leap into the cold, silent hulls of alien vessels if needed. And through it all, Obsidian's consciousness flowed, linking every mind and machine, orchestrating maneuvers across light years with preternatural precision. The next encounter came faster than anyone expected. A fleet of alien ships, larger, more coordinated, and encased in shimmering shields, emerged from a rift at the edge of the Perseid expanse. Their movement was deliberate, almost elegant, a predator circling a prey it had not yet learned to respect. The Black Armada responded in kind. Ships twisted, weaved, and accelerated into positions that seemed impossible, exploiting angles, exploiting gravitational currents, exploiting intuition itself. The battle became a dance of chaos and control, a test of creativity against cold, infinite logic. As energy beams clashed, the void lit up with bursts of plasma, gravitic distortions, and arcs of ionized debris. The sheer scale was breathtaking, entire fleets maneuvering as one, every movement critical, every miscalculation fatal. Yet humanity moved differently. It did not rely solely on brute force or mathematical perfection. It improvised. It risked. It created solutions in the heat of battle that no algorithm could predict. And it survived. Amid the explosions and rippling energy fields, there were quiet moments of reflection. Crew members paused to witness distant suns, to recall home, to remember what they fought for beyond victory or survival. Engineers whispered gratitude to machines that had become comrades, pilots murmured to their instruments, synchronizing mind and vessel in ways older empires could not comprehend. Every human aboard the Armada carried a fragment of Earth's soul into battle, a reminder that they were not just fighting for themselves, they fought for a planet, a species, and an ideal that the galaxy had dismissed. Then, as the battle reached a crescendo, the alien fleet shifted strategy. Ships began to coordinate in intricate formations, their attacks synchronized to overwhelm even the Armada's ingenuity. Gravity waves twisted around human vessels, energy beams converged in lethal arcs, and the void itself seemed to resist humanity's movements. For the first time, the Black Armada faced the full weight of the galaxy's expectation of their demise, yet humanity did not falter. Obsidian, the AI heart of the fleet, wove solutions in real time. Ships executed maneuvers that bent physics itself, fighters threaded through impossibilities, and weapons fired with artistic precision. Each strike was not just an attack but a message: Earth did not bow. Humanity would not kneel. And as the alien fleet faltered under relentless unpredictability, the Black Armada advanced, pushing the limits of space, time, and human audacity. For the first time, the galaxy glimpsed a species that fought not merely to survive, but to define its place in the cosmos. The battle escalated into a cosmic storm, light and energy twisting across the void as the Black Armada clashed with alien forces more formidable than any before. Ships danced like living entities, their engines leaving trails of ion fire that cut through darkness, while massive weapons unleashed arcs of destructive brilliance. The alien fleet moved with precision, yet humanity moved with something older, something untamable, instinct. Creativity, audacity, the sole obsidian, flagship of the Armada, twisted and spiraled through enemy fire, its hull absorbing impacts that would have shattered lesser vessels. Pilots linked to neural interfaces pushed their reflexes to impossible extremes, performing maneuvers that defied physics and expectation. Fighters darted through gravitational turbulence, weaving between energy beams, striking at weak points revealed only by intuition. The void became a canvas, and every human aboard painted with fire, metal, and courage. Even amidst chaos, quiet moments lingered. Observation decks displayed distant, dying worlds, reminders of the stakes. Engineers whispered to machines, coaxing them to operate beyond designed limits. Soldiers braced for boarding actions, ready to confront alien crews in the cold silence of space if necessary. Humanity's spirit threaded through every vessel, linking action to purpose, chaos to order, fear to determination. The alien commanders adjusted, shifting strategies with relentless intelligence. Massive ships reformed into new shapes, their weapons synchronized, their movements almost hypnotic in precision. Yet the Black Armada adapted. Obsidian's awareness flowed through the fleet, predicting attacks, coordinating defenses, and striking back with unprecedented innovation. Humanity had become an organism of war, blending instinct, experience, and ingenuity into a force no calculation could fully contain. Then came the decisive moment. A cluster of alien dreadnoughts attempted to encircle the Armada, their massive energy shields shimmering with lethal intent. Obsidian orchestrated a counterstrike that bent gravity fields, twisted trajectories, and amplified weaponry beyond normal capacity. Fighters darted in arcs, plasma streams converged, and gravitational distortions tore through enemy formations. Ships that had seemed invincible faltered, energy cores destabilizing under the relentless assault. Humanity did not merely survive, it forced the aliens to learn, to adapt, to hesitate. Every strike carried the weight of defiance, every maneuver the pride of a species that refused to bow. And in the midst of the carnage, the crew found moments of reflection, glimmers of distant suns, memories of home, the knowledge that every victory was not just for survival but for the promise of a future shaped by human hands. The alien fleet wavered under the pressure, their cohesion disrupted by unpredictability and audacity. Humanity exploited every hesitation, every weakness, turning desperation into triumph. The Black Armada pressed forward, an unstoppable shadow of defiance across the galaxy, proving that even in the cold calculus of stars, human will could carve its own path. The alien fleet recoiled, regrouping at the edge of the battlefield, massive vessels shimmering with energy, attempting to reclaim the initiative. Yet the Black Armada did not relent. Each ship moved with coordinated purpose, engines glowing like living veins of fire, every maneuver a testament to human audacity and creativity. Humanity's defiance had become a force the galaxy could not ignore. In the command decks, pilots and strategists worked as one. Neural links blurred the line between human and machine, instincts synchronized with calculations beyond natural comprehension. Engineers coaxed power from reactors at impossible levels, feeding weapons that bent space and time. Soldiers prepared boarding pods, weapons ready, heart steady. Obsidian's consciousness flowed through it all. A living network linking mind, metal, and strategy in perfect harmony. The alien forces shifted tactics, deploying immense gravity-warped ships that bent light around them, creating illusions of multiple vessels where only one existed. Waves of gravitic pulses pushed the Armada's limits, twisting ships and testing shields. Yet humanity responded not with rigidity, but with innovation. Fleets maneuvered unpredictably, exploiting currents of energy, weaving through hazards, and striking where logic would have said impossible. Each engagement was a duel of intellect, instinct, and courage. Amid the vast chaos, quiet moments flickered like stars. Crew members gazed at distant, untouched worlds, remembering home. Engineers whispered to machines, a gesture of respect for creations that had become comrades. Soldiers reflected on lives beyond the battlefield, on every person relying on their success. Humanity fought not just with metal and fire, but with heart. Every act of defiance was a declaration. They were not pawns of fate, nor subjects of the galaxy, they were masters of their destiny. Then the fleet made its move, surging forward with a new formation designed to encircle and crush. The Black Armada responded with precision that combined anticipation and improvisation. Gravity distortions manipulated enemy positioning, plasma lances sliced through shields, and fighters darted between impossibilities. Ships collided and twisted, energy arcs tore through void, and in the midst of it all, human ingenuity proved stronger than expectation. The alien fleet faltered under relentless unpredictability. For every calculated strike, humanity countered with audacious maneuvers no algorithm could predict. The Armada turned defense into offense, chaos into order, and pressure into opportunity. Slowly, the tide of battle shifted. Ships that had seemed invincible faltered, their coordination unraveling in the face of a species that refused to die quietly, a species that wrote its own rules among the stars. And in the space between victories, the crew felt the weight of triumph and responsibility. Humanity had survived against overwhelming force, but more than survival mattered, they had carved a place in the galaxy, a reminder that defiance, creativity, and courage could topple even the most absolute power. The alien fleet reeled, massive vessels drifting like wounded leviathans across the void, but their threat remained. The Black Armada pressed onward, engines glowing with relentless determination, weaving through debris fields and energy storms with precision born of instinct, training, and innovation. Humanity had learned that survival was not enough, victory required audacity, creativity, and the courage to stare into annihilation and smile. Within the flagship, Obsidian's awareness flowed through every system, every ship, and every mind. Pilots executed maneuvers that bent physics, threading through enemy fire with impossible grace. Engineers fed weapons with energy beyond design limits, coaxing arcs of plasma and gravitational distortions into perfection. Soldiers readied boarding pods, prepared to confront alien crews in the cold, silent expanse of space if necessary. Every human aboard moved with purpose, their collective will transforming the fleet into a living organism of war and defiance. The aliens, ancient and calculating, shifted tactics again. They unleashed waves of adaptive drones, each faster and more lethal than the last, designed to probe weaknesses and overwhelm coordination. Yet humanity had learned the language of unpredictability. Fighters executed maneuvers no algorithm could predict, gravity distortions turned attacks against themselves, and Obsidian synchronized every strike with unparalleled foresight. Chaos became a weapon, instinct became a strategy, and the Armada became unstoppable. Amid the storm, quiet moments persisted. Observers watched distant stars, reflecting on home, on the fragile worlds that humanity defended. Engineers whispered to machines that had become allies, their respect for technology mirrored by the crew's courage. Soldiers contemplated the lives they protected, understanding that every calculated risk carried the weight of survival for billions. Humanity's struggle was as much moral as it was physical, a battle for dignity, freedom, and existence itself. Then, in a decisive maneuver, the Black Armada executed a coordinated strike on the alien fleet's command cluster. Gravity currents twisted the enemy ships into vulnerable positions, plasma lances tore through shielding, and fighters darted through impossible angles, striking vital points. Explosions bloomed in the void, energy arcs dancing like celestial fire, and the alien formations began to falter. Ships that had seemed invincible faltered under relentless pressure, their coordination unraveling under the ingenuity and audacity of human tactics. Victory did not come easily, nor without cost. Sections of the Armada were damaged, and lives were lost, but humanity had forced the galaxy to recognize an immutable truth: they did not kneel. They did not bow. They adapted, innovated, and struck back with brilliance and courage. The alien fleet, for all its power and age, had been bested in maneuver, in strategy, in audacity, and in heart. and as the final enemy vessels fell or retreated into the void, the Black Armada sailed on, a shadow of unbroken will across the stars. Humanity had not merely survived, they had imposed their defiance upon the galaxy, carving a legacy that would echo across light years and centuries. The remnants of the alien fleet drifted like shattered monuments. Their once imposing forms fractured and scattered across the void. The Black Armada moved through the debris with quiet authority, engines glowing like veins of molten light, every ship a testament to human resilience, ingenuity, and defiance. Humanity had faced annihilation and emerged not merely intact, but victorious, a species unbroken, unbowed, and undeniable. Inside the flagship, Obsidian's consciousness pulsed across the Armada, linking mind and machine in seamless harmony. Pilots adjusted neural interfaces with calm precision, executing maneuvers that twisted physics itself. Engineers monitored reactors pushed beyond their limits, coaxing every system to function in ways even designers had not imagined. Soldiers kept watch over the cold expanse, ready to defend or board if necessary, their focus absolute. Humanity had become a single organism of courage, ingenuity, and will, each part knowing its role in the greater design of survival and triumph. Even as the threat waned, humanity did not falter. Scouting probes scanned distant sectors for remaining alien vessels. Repair crews worked tirelessly to restore damaged ships, and every crew member reflected on the enormity of what had been achieved. The galaxy had sought to subjugate Earth, to erase its people and spirit. Instead, humanity had forged the Black Armada, a force that defied expectation, a declaration written across the stars: Earth would not bow. Alien commanders, ancient and calculating, withdrew to reassess, their strategies disrupted by a species they had dismissed for centuries. They had underestimated unpredictability, intuition, creativity, and the audacity to fight with heart as much as with firepower. Humanity had turned chaos into weaponry, improvisation into doctrine, and defiance into legend. For the first time, the galaxy understood that Earth was no longer a small, insignificant world, but a power that demanded respect and caution. The Armada charted a course back toward the inner systems, engines glowing against the black canvas of space, carrying not just ships and crew, but the essence of human pride and survival. From the observation decks, crew members gazed at distant suns and familiar planets, feeling the weight of home, the beauty of life, and the promise of a future defined by courage and choice. Humanity had rewritten the rules of engagement, proving that intelligence, ingenuity, and will could defy even the most formidable threats. The victory was not in destruction alone, but in declaration. Humanity existed, humanity resisted, and humanity would endure. The Black Armada had not merely survived, it had become a symbol of defiance, a shadow across the cosmos that spoke of unbroken will and limitless potential.